How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Tuesday, August 10th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. With the NFL in preseason and the NBA in summer league, I'm going to get started with the MLB because that's the only league that's currently in season right now, as soccer is slowly starting to come back. Starting out in Chicago, in Wrigley, the Chicago Cubs hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, the leaders of the National League Central, in a doubleheader. And in the very first matchup, the Brewers would end up beating the Cubs on the road 4-2, scoring 3 of their 4 runs in the 4th inning. Of course, for this one, they can thank Willy Adames for the solo home run to tie the game at 1. Then Avi Garcia's 2-run home run to increase their lead. For the Cubs in this first matchup, the start and the loss was given to their starting pitcher for the day, Justin Steele. Justin Steele will pick up his first loss of the season as he allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched and struck out 1. With this loss, he's 2-1 on the season. In the Cubs batting lineup for Game 1, the only player with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, Rafael Ortega. He went 3 for 4. For the Milwaukee Brewers in the first matchup, the start and the win was given to Freddie Peralta. Peralta allowed 2 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this win, Freddie Peralta is 9-3. The save will go to their elite closer for this game, Devin Williams, the reigning National League Rookie of the Year. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. That'll be his second save of the season. In the Brewers batting lineup, their shortstop Willy Adames would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman, Eduardo Escobar, will be the only other player with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 4 with a run. Adames would hit his 21st home run of the season. And going into the second matchup of this doubleheader, the Brewers would end up beating the Cubs 6-3 to win 2 games yesterday, as all 6 of their runs in the second game would come in the 5th inning. For the Chicago Cubs in this second matchup, the start was given to Alec Mills. Mills allowed no earned runs and only allowed 1 hit in 2.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The loss would go to the Cubs' second relief pitcher on the day, Dan Winkler. Winkler allowed 3 runs in 1.1 inning pitch, and with this loss, he's 1-3 on the season. In the Cubs' batting lineup for this game, their left fielder, Patrick Wisdom, will go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs, as Wisdom hit his 17th home run of his rookie season. The Cubs' right fielder for the day, Jonashui Fargas, sorry if I butchered the name, he would go 2 for 3 with an RBI. For the Brewers in the second matchup, the start was given to Aaron Ashby. Ashby only pitched 2 innings as he allowed no earned runs and allowed 2 hits. He struck out a batter. The win would end up going to the Brewers' third relief pitcher for the day, Miguel Sanchez. Sanchez allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitched as he would go on to finish the 4th inning. He would strike out the only batter he faced, and with this win, he's 1-0 on the season. The save would end up going to the Brewers' closer, Brent Suter. Suter allowed 1 earned run in 1.1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. That would be his first save of the year. In the Brewers batting lineup in Game 2, they had 2 players with more than 1 hit. Their third baseman, Eduardo Escobar, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And then their second baseman, Luis Urias, would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. With these wins, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 68-46. That is the best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They currently sit 7 games ahead of the second-place Cincinnati Reds in their division, and they are holding on to the 2nd seed in the National League playoff picture, sitting behind the Giants out west and the Philadelphia Phillies out east. With these 2 losses, the Chicago Cubs are now 52-63. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 6 games, which is currently tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles for the worst losing streak in baseball at the moment. The Chicago Cubs have lost 8 of their last 10 games, and they now show the Milwaukee Brewers by 16.5 games in the division. Looking out to the doubleheader, the Toronto Blue Jays faced off against the Los Angeles Angels. For the first game, the Toronto Blue Jays were the home team, and the Angels would end up beating the Blue Jays 6-3. For the Blue Jays in the first matchup of this doubleheader, the start and the loss was given to Steven Matz. Matz allowed 4 runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Steven Matz is 9-7 on the year. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, their all-star second baseman Marcus Semien will go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their designated hitter Teoscar Hernandez would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. And then the Blue Jays third baseman Breivik Valera would end up going 2 for 3. For the Angels in this matchup, the start was given to their starting pitcher Chris Rodriguez. Rodriguez allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Angels' second relief pitcher on the day, Junior Guerra. Guerra would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitched. With this win, he's now 3-2 on the season. The save will go to the Angels' closer, Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he struck out 2. With this save, he now is 25 on the year. In the Angels' batting lineup, their first baseman, Phil Gosselin, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their left fielder, Justin Upton, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run, as those are the only 2 players with more than 1 hit this game. And then looking at the second game of this doubleheader, the Angels would be the home team, and the Blue Jays would end up shutting out the Angels 4-0, holding the Angels to only 3 hits in the second matchup. For the Angels in Game 2 yesterday, the start and the loss was given to Jose Suarez. Suarez allowed 4 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this loss, Suarez is 5-5 on the year. Nobody in the Angels' batting lineup would finish with more than 1 hit. For the Toronto Blue Jays in this matchup, the start was given to Ross Stripling. Stripling allowed no earned runs, and he allowed only 1 hit in 2 innings pitched. The win was given to the Blue Jays' second relief pitcher, Trevor Richards. Trevor Richards allowed no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he finished out the 4th. He would strike out 2 batters, and with this win, he's now 5-1 on the season. In the Blue Jays lineup for Game 2, their all-star shortstop, Bo Bichette, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. Their right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez, would be the only other player with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this split series and the win in the second matchup, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 61-51. That is the 4th best record in the American League East, as they've won 7 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 7.5 games in the division, and they currently trail the Boston Red Sox by 2.5 games for the second American League wildcard spot, as the Toronto Blue Jays are the second team on the outside looking in behind the Yankees. With this win and loss, the Los Angeles Angels are now 57-57. That is the 4th best record in the American League West. They've lost 5 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Houston Astros by 10.5 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Detroit Tigers, and the Tigers were able to beat the Orioles 9-4, scoring 6 of their 9 runs between the second and third innings. For the Baltimore Orioles in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Keegan Akin, their starting pitcher. Akin allowed 6 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Keegan Akin is 0-6 on the season as a starter. In the Orioles batting lineup, their right fielder Anthony Santander would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 8th and 9th home runs of the season with his 2 hits. And then their left fielder Austin Hayes would end up going 2 for 4. Those are the only 2 players with more than 1 hit on the team. For the Detroit Tigers in this matchup, the start was given to Casey Mize. Mize allowed 4 runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Tigers' first relief pitcher, Kyle Funkhauser. Funkhauser allowed no earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he would go on to finish out the 6th. He would strike out 2 batters, and with this win, he's now 6-1 on the season. In the Tigers batting lineup, their right fielder, Robbie Grossman, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman, Jonathan Schoop, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their second baseman, Willie Castro, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are now 55-60. That is the 3rd best record in the American League Central, as they've won 5 of their last 10. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 12.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 38-73. That is the worst record in the American League East, and that is the worst record in the American League at this moment. They've now lost their last 6 games, which is the worst losing streak in the American League, and it also ties them with the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates for the worst losing streak in baseball at the moment. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 30 games in the division. To get a feeling of what the gap in the American League is between the best and worst teams in that league, just to give a sense of where the Orioles are. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted their divisional rival, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Cardinals would beat the Pirates 4-1, holding the Pirates to only 1 run all game. For the Pirates, the start in the loss was given to Steven Brault. Brault allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 6. This would be Brault's first loss of the season. He's now 0-1. In the Pirates batting lineup, the only player that was able to register a hit was their second baseman, Hoy Park. Park went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run as he hit his first home run of the season. For the St. Louis Cardinals, the start in the win was given to Jay Happ. He allowed 1 earned run and on only 1 hit in 6 innings pitched, as the only hit given up all day was a home run. He would strike out 5 batters. With this win, J.A. Happ is now 6-6 on the season. The save would end up going to Alex Reyes. Reyes allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitches. He struck out a batter. That would be his 26th save of the season for St. Louis. In the Cardinals batting lineup, their left fielder Dylan Carlson will go 3 for 4 with a run. The only other player on the team with more than 1 hit was their second baseman Edmundo Sosa. Edmundo Sosa will go 2 for 4 on the day. And with this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 56-56. That is the 3rd best record in the National League Central. They've won 5 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 11 games in the division, to give a sense of where the Cardinals are. With this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 41-72. That is the worst record in the National League Central and the 2nd worst record in the National League. They've lost their last 6 games alongside the Cubs and the Orioles. That is the worst losing streak in baseball. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 26.5 games in the division. Jumping out to Philadelphia, the National League East leaders hosted the reigning World Series champs, and the Dodgers would beat the Phillies 5-0, shutting them out and holding them to only 6 hits all game. For the Philadelphia Phillies, the start was given to Aaron Nola. Nola allowed no earned runs, and he only allowed 1 hit in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The loss for the Phillies was given to their first relief pitcher on the day, J.D. Hammer. Hammer allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With this loss, J.D. Hammer is 1-1 on the season. In the Phillies batting lineup, their second baseman, Gene Segura, would be the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. He went 3 for 4. For the reigning World Series champs LA Dodgers, the start was given to their goated starting pitcher, Max Scherzer. Scherzer allowed no earned runs and only 3 hits in 3.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to the Dodgers' first relief pitcher, Alex Vesia. Vesia allowed no earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. He would finish out the 5th inning. With this win, he's 2-1 on the season. In the Dodgers batting lineup, their catcher Will Smith would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their elite shortstop Corey Seager will go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs as he had his 5th home run of the season. And with this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 68-45. That is the 2nd best record in the National League West. They've won their last 3 games and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 4 games in the division, and they are holding on to the top spot in the National League wildcard race, sitting 3 games ahead of the 2nd place San Diego Padres. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 59-54. That is still the best record in the National League East. They've only lost 2 of their last 10 games as they now sit a game ahead of the 2nd place Atlanta Braves in their division. They are holding on to the 3rd seed in the National League playoff picture, sitting behind the Giants out west and the Milwaukee Brewers in the Central, and just to give a sense of where they are sitting right now. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Oakland Athletics, and the Athletics were able to tie the game at 3 in the 8th inning thanks to a ground out from Jed Lowry to send the game into extra innings. And in the 10th inning, an RBI single from the same Jed Lowry will give the A's their 65th win of the season. For the Cleveland Indians, the start was given to Tristan McKenzie. McKenzie allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss was given to the Indians' closer for the day, Nick Whitgren. Whitgren allowed 1 run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. With this loss, Whitgren is 2-5 on the season. In the Indians' batting lineup, their center fielder, Miles Straw, will go 2 for 5 with a run. And then their shortstop, Ahmed Rosario will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. For the Oakland A's in this matchup, the start was given to Sean Manaea. Manaea allowed all three of the runs that the A's would allow in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out two. The win was given to the Oakland A's penultimate relief pitcher, Lou Trevino. Trevino allowed no earned runs in one inning pitched as he was unable to strike out a batter. He would finish out the ninth inning, and the save would end up going to the A's closer for this game, Andrew Chafin, who pitched the 10th. He allowed no earned runs in one inning pitch as he struck out a batter. This would be his first save of the season. In the Athletics batting lineup, their first baseman, Matt Olson, would go 2 for 4. The only other player on the team who finished with more than one hit was their right fielder, Seth Brown. Seth Brown went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. He would hit his 14th home run of the season. With this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 65-48. That is the second best record in the American League West. They've won their last 5 games. They are tied with the Tampa Bay Rays at the moment for the best win streak in the American League and the best win streak in baseball right now. The A's have won 8 of their last 10 games. They now sit 2 games behind the Houston Astros in their division. They are holding on to the top American League wildcard spot as they now sit 1 game ahead of the second place Boston Red Sox at the moment. With this loss, the Cleveland Indians are now 55-56. That is the second best record in the American League Central. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 10.5 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Boston, the top 2 teams in the American League East faced off in Fenway as the reigning American League champs Tampa Bay Rays were able to beat the Red Sox 8-4. The Red Sox were up 4-1 up until about the 6th inning. In the 6th and 7th innings, the Tampa Bay Rays would eventually tie it up, thanks to a 2-run double from Ji-Man Choi in the top of the 7th to tie the game up at 4. And then the Rays would end up taking the lead in the top of the 9th as Francisco Mejia would bring 3 home to make it 7-4, and Brandon Lau's RBI single would make it 8-4 for the Rays to turn it back around from being down 4-1 to winning the game 8-4 to, of course, increase their lead in the division. For the Boston Red Sox in this matchup, the start was given to Eduardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez allowed 2 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The loss was given to the Red Sox penultimate relief pitcher, Matt Barnes. Barnes allowed 4 earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this loss, he's 6-5 on the season for the team. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their center fielder for the day, Jarren Duran, would go 2 for 5. Their all-star shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, would go 2 for 4 with a run as well. And then their right fielder, Hunter Renfroe, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Renfroe would hit his 19th home run of the season. And for the reigning American League champs, Tampa Bay Rays, the start was given to Luis Patino. Patino allowed 4 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The win was given to the Rays' first relief pitcher, Andrew Kittredge. Kittredge would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he would pitch the 7th and 8th innings for the Rays. Out of the 6 outs that he would register, 5 of them were strikeouts. With this win, Andrew Kittredge is 8-1 on the season. In the Rays batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Randy Arozarena, will go 2 for 4 with a run. And the only other player on the lineup with more than 1 hit was their second baseman, Brandon Lau. Lau went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Brandon Lau would hit his 25th home run of the season. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 69-44. That is the best record in the American League East, and that is the best record in the American League win percentage-wise. And also looking at the rest of baseball, that is the second best record in all of baseball at the moment. They've won their last 5 games, which is currently the best winning streak in the American League alongside the Oakland A's and the best win streak in all of baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10 games as they now sit 5 games ahead of the second place Boston Red Sox in their division. They're holding on to the number 1 seed in the American League as they sit ahead of the Houston Astros out west, and they sit ahead of the Chicago White Sox of the American League Central. With this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 65-50. That is the second best record in the American League East as they've lost their last 2 games and they've lost 8 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 5 games in their division, and they now hold on to the second American League wildcard spot, trailing the Oakland Athletics by 1 game in that race, and they sit 2 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are the first team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Cincinnati Reds, and the Braves were able to move one game closer in their division, beating the Reds 3-2 after the Reds scored the first 2 runs of the game in the second inning. The Braves would tie it in the fourth off of a 2-run home run from Adam Duvall, and then in the sixth inning, they would take the lead off of a walk drawn by Stephen Vogt. For the Cincinnati Reds in this matchup, the start was given to Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The loss would go to the Reds' first relief pitcher, Heath Hembree, who only pitched .1 inning as he struck out 1 batter. He would allow 1 earned run as well, and with this loss, he's now 2-7 on the season. In the Reds' batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. Their left fielder, Aristides Aquino, would end up going 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he had his 7th home run of the season. For the Atlanta Braves, the start and the win was given to Drew Smyly. Smyly allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, Drew Smyly is 8-3 on the season. With this win, he's not like I said, he's now 8-3. The save would end up going to the Braves' closer for the day, Will Smith. Will Smith would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he picked up save number 23 of the season. And in the Braves batting lineup, their right fielder, Jorge Soler, would go 2 for 3. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. Their left fielder, Adam Duvall, would go 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he had his 25th home run of the season. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 58-55. That is the second best record in the National League East. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 1 game in the division at the moment. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 61-53. That is the second best record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 4 of their last 10. They now trail the division-leading Milwaukee Brewers by 7 games, and they now sit 4.5 games behind the San Diego Padres for the second wild card spot in the National League, as the Cincinnati Reds are still the first team on the outside looking in, even ahead of the Atlanta Braves. Jumping out to Houston, the Houston Astros hosted the Colorado Rockies, and the Astros were able to shut the Rockies out 5-0, holding the Rockies to only 5 hits all game. For the Colorado Rockies in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Jon Gray. Gray allowed 4 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 9. With this loss, Jon Gray is 7-8 on the year for the Colorado Rockies, and in their batting lineup, nobody on the team would register more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from Houston. For the Astros, the start and the win went to Jake Odorizzi. He allowed no earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he allowed 3 hits as he struck out 3. With this win, Jake Odorizzi is 5-6 on the season. In the Astros batting lineup, their center fielder, Chas McCormick, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And then their first baseman for the day, Taylor Jones, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Houston Astros are now 67-46. That is the best record in the American League West. And win percentage-wise, that is the second best record in the American League. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now sit 2 games ahead of the second-place Oakland Athletics in their division. And like I said earlier, they are now holding on to the 2nd seed in the American League as they trail the Tampa Bay Rays out east, and they sit ahead of the Chicago White Sox in the Central. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are now 51-62. That is the 4th best record in the National League West as they've now only lost 3 of their last 10 games. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 21 whole games in the division. Jumping out to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Twins hosted the American League Central leaders, the Chicago White Sox. And the Twins would pull off a 4-3 win after taking the lead back in the 6th, thanks to a Willians Astudillo 2-run home run. That will give them win number 49. For the Chicago White Sox, the start and the loss went to their elite starting pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel allowed 4 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, Dallas Keuchel is 7-6 on the season. In the White Sox batting lineup, their elite first baseman, reigning American League MVP, Jose Abreu, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He would hit his 22nd home run of the season as he was the only player on the White Sox with more than 1 hit. For the Minnesota Twins in this matchup, the start and the win was given to Griffin Jax. Jax allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 10. With this win, Griffin Jax is 3-1 on the season. In the Twins pitching rotation as well, the closer would go to Alex Colomé. Colomé allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he picked up save number 6 of 2021. In the Twins batting lineup, the only player that would register more than one hit was their shortstop, Andrelton Simmons, as he went 2 for 3. Willians Astudillo, their third baseman, will go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit home run number 6 yesterday. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 49-65. That is the worst record in the American League Central. That's the third worst record in the American League at the moment. They've won 6 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 18 games in the division. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are now 67-47. That is the best record in the American League Central. They've only lost 4 of their last 10 games as they now sit 10.5 games ahead of the second-place Cleveland Indians in their division. The Chicago White Sox are currently holding on to the 3rd seed in the American League playoff picture, trailing the Tampa Bay Rays out east and the Houston Astros out west. Those are the only 2 teams that sit ahead of them. Jumping out to Kansas City, one state away, the Kansas City Royals hosted the New York Yankees, and the Royals were able to pull off an 8-4 win, scoring 6 of their 8 runs after the 4th inning. For the New York Yankees in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Nestor Cortes. Cortes allowed 5 runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Cortes is 0-1 on the season for the Yankees. In the Yankees batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. Their catcher, Kyle Higashioka, will go 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 7th home run of the season. For the Kansas City Royals, the start was given to Daniel Lynch. Lynch allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to the Royals' second relief pitcher, Josh Stallman. Stallman allowed no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, he's now 2-2 on the season. In the Royals batting lineup, their elite designated hitter, Whit Merrifield, would go 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Their elite catcher, Salvador Perez, would go 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He would go on to hit his 28th and 29th home runs of the season for Kansas City. And then their center fielder, Michael Taylor, would go 2 for 3 with a run. With this win, the Kansas City Royals are now 49-63. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 17 games in the division. With this loss, the New York Yankees are now 62-51. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East. They've only lost 3 of their last 10 games. They trailed the defending American League champs, Tampa Bay Rays, by 7 games in the division, and they currently trail the Boston Red Sox by 2 games for the 2nd American League wildcard spot, as the Yankees are still the first team on the outside looking in on the American League side. Jumping up to the Bay Area, the San Francisco Giants, the holders of the league's best record, hosted the Arizona Diamondbacks. And after the Diamondbacks tied the game up at 7 in the top of the 9th, it would end up being Chris Bryant reaching on a fielding error for the San Francisco Giants to win their 72nd game of the season. For the Arizona Diamondbacks in this loss, the start went to their elite starting pitcher, Zach Gallen. Gallen allowed 5 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The loss was given to the Arizona Diamondbacks closer for the day, Matt Peacock. Peacock allowed 1 run in .2 innings pitched, and with this loss, Peacock is 5-7 on the season. In the Diamondbacks lineup, their shortstop, Nico Ahmed, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Additionally, their center fielder, Ketel Marte, would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their third baseman, Asdrubal Cabrera, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Cabrera would hit his 7th home run of the season. For the San Francisco Giants, the start went to Alex Wood. Wood allowed 5 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the Giants closer, Zach Little. Zach Little allowed no earned runs in .1 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this win, he's 1-0 on the season. In the Giants batting lineup, their future Hall of Fame catcher, Buster Posey, will go 2 for 2 with 3 walks as he finished with an RBI and 3 runs. Posey would hit his 14th home run of the season yesterday. Their center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as well. And with this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 72-41. That is the best record in the National League West, and that is the best record in all of the majors. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. They sit 4 games ahead of the second-place Los Angeles Dodgers in their division. They are holding on to the number 1 seed in the National League at the moment, sitting ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers leading the Central and the Philadelphia Phillies, who currently lead the East. With this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 35-79. That is the worst record in the National League West, the worst record in the National League, and win percentage-wise, the worst record in all of baseball. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 8 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 37.5 games in the division, just to give you a sense of what the gap is between the best and the worst record in baseball this year. Jumping out to Seattle, the Seattle Mariners went on to host the Texas Rangers, and the Rangers would beat the Mariners 5-4 in extra innings as they outscored the Mariners 2-1 in the 10th. For the Mariners in this matchup, the start was given to Logan Gilbert. Gilbert allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss for Seattle will go to their closer in this matchup, Eric Swanson. Swanson allowed 2 runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. With this loss, Swanson is 0-2 on the season. In the Mariners batting lineup, their right fielder Mitch Haniger will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Mitch Haniger would hit his 26th home run of the season. Their first baseman, Ty France, would be the only other player on the team with more than 1 hit as he went 3 for 5 with an RBI. For the Texas Rangers, the start went to Colby Allard. Allard allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Rangers closer for the day, Brett Martin. Martin allowed 1 run in 1.1 innings pitched. With this win, he's 3-3 on the year. In the Rangers batting lineup, the only player on the team with more than 1 hit was their third baseman on the day, Yanni Hernandez. Yanni Hernandez went 2 for 5 with an RBI on the day. And with this win, the Texas Rangers are now 40-73. That is the worst record in the American League West and the second worst record in the American League. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Houston Astros by 27 games in the division. With this loss, the Seattle Mariners are now 59-55. That is the 3rd best record in the American League West. They've lost 7 of their last 10, and at the moment, they now trail the Houston Astros by 8.5 games in their division. Last but not least, jumping out to San Diego, the San Diego Padres hosted the Miami Marlins and were able to pull up a 6-5 win, breaking the 5-5 tie in the bottom of the 7th thanks to an Austin Nola RBI single. For the Miami Marlins in this matchup, the start was given to Braxton Garrett. Garrett allowed 5 earned runs in 3.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The loss was given to the Marlins' their penultimate relief pitcher, Richard Blyer. Richard Blyer would allow 1 earned run in 0.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he's now 2-2 on the season. In the Miami Marlins batting lineup, their shortstop Miguel Rojas would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Their first baseman Jesus Aguilar will go 2 for 4 with a run for himself, and their left fielder Jorge Alfaro would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Not to mention their center fielder Magneuris Sierra would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 runs. For the San Diego Padres in this matchup, the start went to Craig Stammen. Stammen allowed 4 earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Padres' 5th relief pitcher of the day, Pierce Johnson. Pierce Johnson allowed no earned runs in 0.1 inning pitched. With this win, he's now 3-2 on the season. And the save would go to the Padres' closer, Mark Melancon. He allowed no earned runs in 1.1 inning pitches. He struck out 2. With this save, he now has 34 on the season. In the Padres batting lineup, their catcher Austin Nola will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Their first baseman Eric Hosmer will go 2 for 4 with a run. Their right fielder Will Myers will go 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 strikeouts. And their center fielder Trent Grisham will go 2 for 4. With this win, the San Diego Padres are now 66-49. That is the 3rd best record in the National League West. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 7 games in the division, and they are holding on to the 2nd National League wildcard spot, sitting 3 games behind the first place Los Angeles Dodgers in this race, and they still sit 4.5 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the first team on the outside of the wildcard picture looking in. With this loss, the Miami Marlins are now 47-67. That is the worst record in the National League East, and that is the 3rd worst record in the National League. They've lost their last 5 games. They've lost 7 of their last 10, and they now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 12.5 games in the division. So right now, that is what the MLB is looking like as it leads into today. There was a game that was delayed by rain in the 2nd inning as the Nationals lead the Mets. So, of course, that's going to resume at 4:10 today. But looking at what else is going on starting at 1 o'clock, Bailey Ober and the Minnesota Twins are going to host Lance Lynn and the Chicago White Sox. Lance Lynn enters this matchup with a 10-3 record alongside a 2.04 ERA. At 2:10 on ESPN Plus, Framber Valdez and the Houston Astros are going to host Antonio Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies. Framber Valdez enters this matchup with a 7-3 record alongside a 3.22 ERA. Also at 2:10, Brady Singer and the Kansas City Royals are going to host Lucas Luetge and the New York Yankees. Lucas Luetge enters this matchup with a 4-2 record alongside a 2.75 ERA. At 4:10, Ryan Weathers and the San Diego Padres are going to host Sandy Alcantara and the Miami Marlins. Alcantara enters this matchup with a 6-10 record alongside a 3.70 ERA. At 7 o'clock on ESPN, Kyle Gibson and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to host David Price and the Los Angeles Dodgers. David Price, the former American League Cy Young winner, enters this matchup with a 4-1 record alongside a 3.53 ERA. Kyle Gibson is going to enter this matchup with a 2-0 record alongside a 2.13 ERA for Philly. At 7:05, Matt Harvey and the Baltimore Orioles are going to host Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. At the same time, at 7:05, Will Crowe and the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to host Adam Wainwright and the St. Louis Cardinals. Adam Wainwright enters Pittsburgh with a 10-6 record with a 3.48 ERA. At 7:10, Cal Quantrill and the Cleveland Indians are going to host Frankie Montas and the Oakland Athletics. Cal Quantrill enters his matchup with a 3-2 record alongside a 3.14 ERA. Also at 7:10, Nate Eovaldi and the Boston Red Sox are going to host Josh Fleming and the Tampa Bay Rays. At 7:10, Marcus Stroman and the New York Mets are going to host the Nationals at home. Marcus Stroman enters his matchup with a 7-11 record alongside a 2.83 ERA. At 8:05, Jake Arrieta is going to take the mound for the Cubs as they host Corbin Burns and the Milwaukee Brewers. Corbin Burns enters his matchup with a 6-4 record alongside a 2.39 ERA. At 9:38, Dylan Bundy and the Los Angeles Angels are going to host Alek Manoah and the Toronto Blue Jays. Alek Manoah enters his matchup with a 4-1 record alongside a 2.58 ERA. Going back up to 7:20, Touki Toussaint and the Atlanta Braves are going to host Wade Miley and the Cincinnati Reds. Wade Miley enters his matchup with a 9-4 record alongside a 2.75 ERA. Jumping back down, at 9:45, Kevin Gausman and the San Francisco Giants are going to host Merrill Kelly and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kevin Gausman enters his matchup with a 10-5 record alongside a 2.31 ERA. And last but not least, at 10:10, Tyler Anderson is going to take the mound for the Seattle Mariners as he hosts Spencer Howard and the Texas Rangers. So that's what's going on with baseball. Taking a look at what's going on outside the continent. Yesterday, there were a good amount of Champions League qualifying matchups. Looking at some of the teams that were able to advance to the next round, Shakhtar Donetsk was able to beat Racing Genk 2-1 as they won their aggregate 4-2. Monaco was able to beat Sparta Prague as their 3-1 win led to a 5-1 series aggregate. PSV Eindhoven was able to beat Midtjylland 1-0 as Midtjylland will not return to the Champions League for the second straight year. Benfica was able to beat Spartak Moscow 2-0 to win their aggregate 4-0 as they will advance. And then looking forward to what's going on today in the world of soccer. Of course, getting started with Champions League matchups. In CONCACAF, Monterrey is going to face off against Cruz Azul, but I'll get to that as time goes on. The first matchups of the Carabao Cup in England are kicking off as none of the big teams are facing up early. And then it will be the UEFA Super Cup at 3 o'clock as the winner of the Champions League, Chelsea, will face off against the winner of the Europa League, Villarreal. Of course, this matchup is going to take place at Windsor Park, as Chelsea is going to, this one will be played in England. And of course, this is going to be the game that kicks off what's going to be an amazing 2021-2022 soccer season. And with that said, that's virtually everything going on as it leads us to today, Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. Of course, I want to thank the MLB, the NBA, and the FIFA websites for giving me the facts and figures that I needed to do this episode. I, of course, want to thank everybody for listening, I want to thank everyone for listening to this episode, all 40 minutes of it. And once again, once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, I will come back tomorrow on Thursday, August 12th for another episode of The Elite. And until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow with another episode.